Hello, this is Cotton Soups, and welcome back to another Lumi Legacy HTUC video. And today's video, we're going to be talking about Hunder. Hunder is a very good Lumion in this metagame, and because it got Vice Jaws, we're basically going to be going over everything that it does in this metagame. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use and counter Hunder, and the counters and checks and teammates in order to know how to use Hunder in your battles, as well as the roles and sets in order to know how to build around Hunder. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use and counter Hunder. So the role that Hunder is going to be playing in your matches is all reliant on its base stats. And first off, all you want to know about Hunder is that it's pretty frail on its HP and range defense side. It does have a decent energy stat and melee defense stat, and this energy stat works out perfectly for the type of moves that you want to go for because of its low costing energy moves. And you have a pretty good melee attack and speed stat of 94 and 116 respectively. This melee attack stat won't be hitting at very hard. However, because of your ability and other attributes, you will be able to hit pretty hard compared to other Lumions. So the role that Hunder is basically going to be playing is a fast and frail cleaner, such of the likes as Zulong. However, what it does bring to the table is better matchups on the melee side and better coverage. So let's get right onto the sets. The first set that I'll be going over and is only the really good set here, and it is the cleaner set with the ability Power Jaw. Hunder will be able to outspeed a lot of Lumions and of course utilize its ability Power Jaw to boost all of its chomping moves, which is basically the meta right now because Hunder really doesn't have the best moves to stop using Power Jaw. Your personality is going to be brawny, nimble, very clumsy, so you can balance out your attacking stats. However, you can run very nimble to outspeed the likes of Zulong. However, there is one problem: you won't be able to one-hit KO it, so most of the time having brawny nimble just for other stuff is pretty much the personality you want to go for. The move setup choice is going to be Vice Jaws and Thunder Chomp because they're your two stab moves, and Vice Jaws does really well because you can stop Lumions from using certain moves consecutively because there are Lumions such as Your Snack that needs to be clicking Pep Jab in order to break you, which is always good. And then as for your third and fourth move options, Mega Chomp, Chili Chomp, or Blaze Chomp can be here. It all depends on what you really want to hit, but me personally, I'm going to be clicking Chili Chomp most of the time, or actually I'm going to be using Mega Chomp and Chili Chomp. This provides most of the coverage that you want to run. Blaze Chomp is pretty redundant. You don't really want another move that can just be answered by waters, in my opinion, but ultimately it really comes down to what your team is weak to and what your team gets revenge killed by, and of course choose your coverage to accord that. And of course the next item is going to be Power Cuffs or Specialty Boots. I really recommend Power Cuffs, and Specialty Boots is really niche and something I really won't consider running because Hunder has the ability to just hit so hard. And if you really want to run Specialty Boots, you can try and run a very brawny, tender, clumsy Hunder set. That's basically the only way you can utilize boots. After that, let's get right onto the TPs. Your 52 energy gets you to 250 energy at level 50 battles, which lets you use 5 Vice Jaws, even if you have the Power Cuffs on, which is always good. 48 HP are the leftovers, and 200 melee attack and speed are the stats you want to max out. Your offensive and defensive counters and checks. First off, you want to run Lumions that can outspeed it. First off, we got Zulong with Fire Breath, Tatab with Boots, Jungle Jutsu, and Ursul with Priority, and the fact that Terrifying sets, although still very niche, can still deal with Hunder relatively well. Other than that, you do have fire types which generally can swap in. Most of Hunder's coverage, such as Thunder Chomp, Chili Chomp, and Vice Jaws, all these fire types can swap in on any of those and they can hit it back super effectively. Ikazune can be a boots user that outspeeds Hunder. Seer Knight can just have a terrifying set and then completely stop Hunder for the meantime, and Eruptodon, of course, takes advantage of Hunder because of its wall-breaking prowess. You can also run Scorching Skin Eruptodon, and before you Soul Burst, make sure you try and fish for that Scorching Skin burn if you really want to. However, Soul Bursting 9 times out of 10 is always the right play. Other than that, you do have melee walls such as Obsidian, Your Snack, and Soul Burst Krakaloa that just does pretty well against Hunder all the time. Krakaloa is going to be probably the most consistent answer because these guys are all pretty reliant on what the opposing team is, and these guys, as much as Beast Lover may be good, Krakaloa with Rejuvenate is always going to be more consistent. However, meta answers such as Obsi and Yursnack is also fine. You can also use other bulky fire types such as Haganash and Billiforge if you want to use some other answers if you really want to. Some offensive cores that I really recommend with Hunder. First off, I do want to mention that defensive teammates aren't really a thing for Hunder because like Zulong, it really exists on its own plane, and because of that, there's really not a lot of defensive support you can give it because it's just a cleaner. However, because it does get walled by Yursnack and Obsidian and Soulburst Krakaloa, you can run Lumions such as Mutagon and Dragodon that can pretty much break pretty much all of those. You do have to watch out for Raging Flame Krakaloa on your Mutagon, so you do have to watch out for that. However, Dragodon can pretty much stop all of the defensive counter to checks for Hunder. You do have another core with Vesperatu and Jalusa in case you don't want to run two potential Ubers, and that is of course pretty much fine. Vesperatu is really good, and as for Jalusa, it's also pretty decent. As in the core, Jalusa can be an offensive check to Obsidian and Yursnack. Vesperatu can answer Yursnack pretty well. Other than that, let's get right onto the conclusion and my thoughts on Hunder. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. This video is a very self-explanatory and pretty easy to make because Hunder is a pretty simple Lumion. It is a cleaner that really doesn't benefit from defensive support, although it really does. Hunder is just a cleaner at the end of the day. You only really have the ability to just use it as a cleaner that can just clean up the endgame, and that's pretty much all Hunder is. However, it is a very good cleaner at that, so let me know your thoughts on Hunder down in the comments section below. Of course, like the video and subscribe if you want to see more of these type of videos, and remember, this is Cotton Soup signing off to remind you that Zulong is still a dumpster fire.